And we are live for week 6 of Anchor Down, the Topsail Pirates football show. This is your weekly call for Pirate football. It's homecoming week here at Topsail High School. Round of applause for homecoming week. Let's go. I'm going to need you guys engaged. Time to wake up here now. Show started. Appreciate it. Thank you for everybody joining us here live tonight. Familiar faces, new faces, all that good stuff. Thank you to everyone joining us live on YouTube as well. We've been doing pretty good, pretty steady views over the last 5 weeks. I think we're averaging about 250 per episode, so we'll take it. Yeah, so if you're watching us on YouTube, go ahead and go down and hit the thumbs up button in the stream. Help kick us into that algorithm. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. I look at our analytics over the week, and I think about 40% of viewers are not subscribed. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We'd appreciate it. What we're going to cover tonight, so it's homecoming week. We've got Coach coming in. We've got a couple players to talk to. Number 20, Mathew Hayes, senior running back. And number 2, Josh McKay, senior linebacker. So we'll hear from them tonight. We are going to recap the Ashley game last Friday night and preview homecoming game against North Brunswick. We've got some plays that Coach is going to go over, known as his no quarter plays, that we are going to take a look at. I think there's a lot more positives to pull out of this Ashley game than weeks past, and I think that's reflected in these clips that we're going to show. So that's a good thing. I'm Matt Griffith. I'm your host. This is my co-host, Rich Mabberley. I don't know if everybody didn't get the 6:30 start time, but this is going to be 6:30 for the rest of the season. So if you'd missed the first part of it, you can go back and watch the replay. Rich, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. I am doing well. I agree with you as to what you said about this week having some more positive takeaways than the weeks past. So I'm excited to see what Coach has to say about it and hear how the boys felt that game went and how everybody's feeling. Looking forward to Friday and homecoming.
Yeah. So this past week, Ashley week. JV unfortunately fell at home to Ashley. Very good Ashley JV team. They may even be the best JV team in the conference. They are, I believe, 5-0 now. 21-6 loss to Ashley, and JV drops to 2-3 on the season. Looking to bounce back this week. Away tomorrow night, 6 o'clock kickoff at North Brunswick High School. So right down the road in Leland. Not a far drive. Everybody should be able to make it there. Plenty of time before kickoff, so we'll see you there tomorrow night. Varsity also falls last week at Ashley, 24-6. But like we said, I think there's more positives to take away from this game. I thought there was some improvement this week. We scored an offensive touchdown, which is a good thing. Kyle Romanek, number 82 and number 50, he was wearing 82 in this game, so he could be eligible to play fullback. Gets the touchdown for the Pirates. I thought the offense mixed it up quite a bit. Well, I didn't think they actually did. They added some things that we really haven't seen throughout the up to this point in the season. I thought the defense played better compared to weeks past. And the question that we're going to ask ourselves tonight and going into tomorrow night and Friday night's game is, can the Pirates continue to build off the performance at Ashley? Can they continue building on that this week at home against North Brunswick? Rich, what takeaways did you have?
Yeah, so I think I was there on the sidelines because Chris Hafer was UA on Friday. So I got to be on the sideline during the game. And a couple takeaways that I had is, one, I saw a Topsail High School quarterback under center for the first time probably since 2023 when Jack Lambert was under there. And so I remember looking over at my wife and saying, hey, we got a quarterback under center. So I thought that was interesting. Had a little conversation with Coach Schmidt after the game about kind of what their offensive philosophy was. I'm not going to deep dive into that. I'll save that for when Coach Schmidt gets up here. But some of the major improvements that I saw, our offensive line was getting a push. We were running the ball. We were moving the ball 3 or 4 yards a carry. Still had some of those setbacks. We had a couple drives where we'd pick up a first down, pick up another first down, and then on 1st and 10 we would lose 5 yards or something along those lines, get behind the chains, and then running that style of offense, which I thought we ran fairly well, is hard to catch up, right? So you're not going to be able to pick up a first down with 3-4 yards up the gut if you're starting on 2nd and 17. So we cleaned those things up. And I mean, I think that we got some good things coming. I'm really interested, and I don't know, Matt, if you did the research or not, or maybe Coach Schmidt's got this information, is what the time of possession was in that game. Because it seemed like our offense was on the field significantly more, maybe not more than Ashley, maybe it was more of a 50-50 split, but definitely more than we've been on the field over the past couple weeks. So I saw major improvements on the offense. And, one of the biggest takeaway that I had is being on the sideline is seeing those boys out there. There was no quitting them. They were getting each other fired up. They were yelling and screaming. It was exciting to see the boys, even though the record isn't what we hope it would be. But seeing the boys with that no quit attitude. So pretty excited about that. The defensive side of the ball, hey, they held their own. 26 points, 24 points. Hey, if our defense gives up 24 points a game, hopefully our offense can score that 25th point and get some of these victories. So,
yeah, Rich. Unfortunately, there's stats in high school football, at least in North Carolina high school football, are hard to come by. So, I don't even know if anybody's tracking time of possession, but I would be interested. I do agree. It's got to be the best mark of the season in terms of time of possession. And, that's what we talked about last week. Offense has to put together some sustained drives to give the defense a break, right? So I thought that we did a better job of that, at least early. I think the score at the end of the first half, or midway through the second quarter, was 7-6. We were right there in it. And then, it just kind of fizzled out and Ashley pulled away late. But definitely some things to build off of, and we'll talk more in depth with that when we get Coach up here in just a few minutes. But before we talk to Coach, we are going to start off with our players. So, like we mentioned, tonight we have, and guys, when I call your name, come on up here. Number 20, senior running back Mathew Hayes. And number 2, senior outside linebacker Josh McKay. Wearing a Duke shirt. I'll be quiet. Guys, welcome to the stage. I'll go ahead and preface this interview with, since we started at 6:30, they didn't get here early enough to get their questions, so bear with them. It's going to be on the spot, but I got full faith and confidence in you guys.
We got some doozies for you boys too.
All right, so we're going to start off, and this is a question for both of you. You guys can both weigh in on this question, and then we've got some individual questions that we're going to ask you guys. But for both of you, I just want you to talk to me about the Ashley game, right? How do you think the team played? Do you agree that with our statements here that I feel like we built some building blocks to kind of help propel us through the rest of the season? Do you agree with that? And how do you think the team played overall, and how do you think you played overall individually? And what kind of positives do you take away?
I definitely think as a team, we definitely had a lot of momentum. I mean, right off the bat, we kicked them in the face, as we should. I mean, after these past few games, we haven't really moved the ball, but I feel like during the Ashley game, I mean, we moved it a good amount, and I think it's just a moving forward point, and from there on, I mean, I think we're ready to take on North Brunswick.
All right. Can't wait.
I think offensively wise, that was the first time I think we all played together as a unit. Matt running. Coach showed a clip and film of his feet moving after he was on his back.
We got it. We're gonna watch it.
It's pretty nice. but O-line held up. Defensively, it's little things that got us, but overall we played great. And, I think if we keep playing and we build off of what we did last week, we'll be in a really good position these next 5
5 weeks,
5
yeah.
weeks.
Well, 6 weeks if you count the bye, but
6 weeks.
yeah, 5 games, definitely. Yeah, I agree with that. So, Mathew, this question's for you. So you started off the year with an injury. You missed some time early, some practices, some scrimmages, and then you were asked immediately to be ready to go week 1 versus Dixon. And you kind of got off to a slower start this season compared to last year, but I thought you had a really nice game Friday night at Ashley. What have been your challenges so far this season, and how have you dealt with, the challenges like injuries and tough games?
It's all about the mentality. Being hurt, you kind of, as a senior, you do want to get as much reps and get as much playing time as you want, but at the same time, you do want to kind of heal your body to the maximum point you can and get back going 100%. These past few games, it's just been a mentality thing. I can say that it was just hard mentally. But Friday night I was ready, and I think the rest of the team was too. And I think from there on it's just up for me.
Yeah, and I agree. I think the team looked significantly better this last week than the weeks past. So whatever it is that you boys did, continue to do so. So coming off an injury, kind of slow, like all those things that Matt said, slower start, playing better as the season goes along. What is it that you're doing to get yourself prepared for North Brunswick this week? Getting yourself healed, getting ready to get out there and get after that team.
I think a lot of it has to do with just being ready. The working out with the team. That's a lot. It's just a lot about that team bonding, and but right before the game, we just all get together, we pray, we listen to music, get hyped for each other, and get ready. It's simple as that. If we feel good, we're gonna play good, and we've been feeling good.
Yeah, it's huge. Mentality is such a huge part of sports in general. So, it's. I don't know what the ratio is, or you make one up or whatever, but mentality is just as important, and getting your mind right is just as important as your physical abilities to play the sport, right? So,
yeah, for sure.
Strong mind, strong body, definitely. All right, Mathew. On a lighter note, what's next for Mathew Hayes after your senior year, after graduation? What, I guess, is your short-term target?
My short-term target, after high school, I'm going to the military.
Okay.
I'm going to be going to college, get a couple degrees, and after that, I think I'm going to go federal agent or become a fish and wildlife, so
All right.
game warden, and after that, just keep going up.
All right, so I know that Matt and I are both veterans. I see some other veterans out there as well. The important question, what branch of service?
I'm thinking Marines or Army.
That's Army. You were going to get it, that's right, after you said Marines, but then you threw in the Army, and I'm going to have to, we'll sit down and we'll have a conversation about that.
All right. So now, let me get this play up here. We are going to take a look at Mathew's longest run of the night versus Ashley. Give me a second to get it up here. All right. All right. So, Mathew, I'm going to play this clip. I want you to watch it through one time. We're going to roll it a couple times. I want you to watch it the first time. And then the second time, I want you to just talk to me about, if you remember anything from this play. I know it may be a little fuzzy, once you're in the heat of the moment. But, talk to me about this play. What are your reads? What are you looking for? And at the end of the run, when you finish the run, talk about what you're doing there and how this is absolutely how you finish a run. Here we go. Did it play? Yeah.
Yeah, so during the play, I mean, I'm really just looking off of Kyle's butt. I mean, he really did his job of popping that person, and then there's Damarian also popping that person. And if it wasn't for my wide receivers and my leading fullback, I don't think I would have gotten as many yards as I did. I mean, they really blocked their butts off that night. And doing the play, I mean, you really have to have an open field of vision. And so that's how I really did. I mean, and that night I was so pumped up. I mean, I was not going down after one person just taking me down. So just finishing that play, keeping my legs running, I was trying to get as many yards as possible for the team.
Great run.
Thank you.
Definitely. Before we shift over here to Josh, I just want to say about Mathew. I've known Mathew for quite some time. I think right when you moved here, he was a member of our Pop Warner team. I tried to coach one year. Well, head coach one year. And he showed up and played for us and got to know him through that. And, in the years I've known Mathew, just hard worker, great player, and even better person, right? Every time I see him, he makes sure to stand up, look me right in the eye, shake my hand, greet me, and tons of respect for that. So that's always a sign of a good person. So
Thank you.
I've enjoyed watching you play ball here these 4 years, and we're pulling for you all the time.
Thank you. Means a lot.
Yeah.
All right, Josh, you're on the hot seat now. So 9 tackles on Friday against Ashley. Statistically, your best game of the season. And being asked to step up and kind of take that role, short notice, and things of that nature. What is it that you kind of your mindset going into that game, and what is your mindset going into these upcoming games to continue to improve and get Topsail that first W?
So going into Ashley game, I think it was a little bit midway through warm-ups. Landon Lash, I see him talking to Miss Kelly, pads off, helmet off, stomach dropped. I'm like, all right, well, it's time to go. Locked in. I did what I could for the team.
Did what you could by the tune of 9 tackles, right? Third on the team in tackles. Yeah.
Thank you. But it was as soon as I saw his pads and helmet come off and ice on the neck, I was like, well, it's go time. Like, I've been practicing since start of summer, waiting for that. No hate, Landon, but I was waiting for you to get out finally. But looking forward to this week, same thing, just go in there, take some kid side off, make sure you leave a mark somewhere, whether it's on your helmet, their helmet. Just kind of,
Yeah.
do your job, get the tackle, get the job done.
All right, so moving on. So we kind of asked Mathew this question, but how are you preparing yourself for North Brunswick, right? So you talked about last week, you found out you were starting about halfway through warm-ups. But I don't know, Coach, but Josh over here may have earned himself some a bigger role maybe coming up this week. So how are you preparing yourself for that possibility of more reps, more snaps at home against North Brunswick?
I'm not going to treat it any differently as I did last game. Just same thing, go in there, get the mind right mentally, but just kind of, play with the chip on the shoulder.
Yeah.
They're going to think it's an easy game, 0-5 versus, North. So play with the chip on the shoulder.
All that good stuff, right?
Knock your kid's head
Definitely.
off.
Absolutely. So tell me what has been the biggest lesson you've learned from your teammates and your coaches throughout your time here at Topsail High?
Just enjoy it. You only get 10 games your senior year. Time goes fast. I remember just yesterday we were at Trask playing 7-on-7s thinking how far away the homecoming was or mid-season. So just, take everything in. Don't overlook something. Fix the little things. And, it'll get you very, very far.
Nice. So you've got 4 years playing football here at Topsail High School, and obviously you're a senior, and this is getting wrapped up, right? Your career at Topsail High School playing ball. what's in your future? What is it where is it you see yourself in, 9 months after you've graduated? Are you off to school? Are you going to join the Marine Corps? Not the Army?
Definitely not the Army.
Excellent. I like this guy. What are your plans after graduation?
I plan to go to college for a degree in sports management or entertainment management. Something I've always wanted to do. I got to get into the school first, but go to college, and military, Marines, not Army, possibility, 100%.
Making enemies up here. I'm just kidding.
We don't like the Army.
Just kidding.
But just go and get a 4-year degree in something I love doing and something I'm very passionate about.
Any schools you're interested in yet?
State, ECU, FSU, go Noles.
Oh,
There we go. Yep, you know how it is.
rough year last year.
Hey,
Better this year, though.
a lot better this year.
All right, Josh. We've got a clip of you here. One of them things they call a sack. I think that's the word they use for it. But we're gonna play through it, give it a watch, and then just like Mathew, talk us through the second time. What are your reads? What's your keys? What are you looking at? And just talk through your pursuit. And if just to orient you to the screen, he's right there, number 2, coming from the top of the screen, pre-snap, coming right down through into the backfield.
So I'm reading my tackle right here. I see he kind of blocks down. So, the first thing I thought about was Coach Sharp screaming at us preseason, squeeze the air, look to the near back. And we had practiced that guy coming in motion. So it's just kind of, spill him, squeeze and spill. Something Coach Tichy taught me a lot last year and the year before. So I squeeze, I spill. And I saw him keep the ball and just kind of lowered my shoulder into him, heard him yell, "Oh crap," and got away with the tackle. And a horrible celebration.
I don't think it was horrible. A little high step there, maybe a mid step. It's all right though. I like it. At least there was a celebration.
I tried. I didn't want to look too corny.
No, impossible. Josh, I don't know you that well, but I know I've watched you throughout your time here, and really excited about your senior year. Love to see all the success you had Friday night on the field. We're proud of you, and we're gonna have fun watching the rest of the year. Ball out. You only got 5 more shots at it, so give it your all. And like you said, don't miss a moment, right? Stay in the moment.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
And we'll be watching from the sidelines. So, all right, everybody. Mathew Hayes, number 20, and number 2, Josh McKay. A couple of our seniors. All right, got to get my media right here. We're good. Okay, so moving on to our Ashley recap. We already talked about the scores and the results. We're not going to revisit that, but like we talked about, better this week. Overall, better week. Still didn't get the result we wanted, but better performance compared to our first 4 games. Tyler Vickers was 7 for 12 for 82 yards on the night. Gunnar Haynes was 4 for 5, added 22 yards through the air, which is an improvement on the passing game overall. Good to see. Mathew Hayes led the team in rushing with 46 yards on 10 carries. Kyle Romanek added 36 yards rushing and the team's only touchdown of the night. Jackson Reeves led the team in receiving 68 yards on 4 receptions. So nice night for Jackson. I see you over there, Jackson. I see you over there, Jackson's dad and mom too, raising the roof over there. I like it. Preston Plunkett and JoJo Sidbury led the team defensively with 15 and 13 tackles each, respectively, and then Josh McKay right there behind him with 9. And for JV, I thought JV had some bright moments in the game. Just couldn't keep Ashley off the scoreboard like we talked about. That might be the best JV team in our conference. So I don't think we were able to get the passing game going much in the JV game, but run game had some bright moments. Big game, big night for Aaron Sander. I see you over there. Hope you're healed up, ready to go tomorrow night. All right, I got the thumbs up. We're good. So, Rich, any thoughts before we get Coach up here?
Yeah, so, I mean, I already kind of talked a little bit about it, but you look at Mathew Hayes, 46 yards on 10 carries, 4.6 yards a carry. I think any kind of offensive coordinator would be happy to take that. I mean, I'm not a mathematician, but I know 4.6 and 4.6 is going to be 9.2, I think. You do that one more time, that's a first down. We do that consistently. We're chewing up the clock. We're getting down. We're driving the ball down the field. We're tiring out their defense, hopefully putting some points on the board. And then what does that do? That opens up that deep pass, which I saw we had a couple of those deep balls on Friday night. So hopefully we can continue to replicate that and this time put some more points on the board. I agree with what you said about JV. Wasn't necessarily the team's best night overall, but hung tough with probably the best JV team in the conference. So I think things are looking good for the JV team going into the rest of the conference season.
Yeah, let's get back to 500 tomorrow night, JV. Let's go. Let's get back to 3-3 here. You're up to the task. All right. Moving on here, we are going to welcome to the stage our head coach, Coach Chris Schmidt.
We're changing the seating arrangement around a little bit this time, Coach.
Put me over here? Yeah, okay.
Get your own mic tonight. You don't have to pass it.
I like it.
All right, Coach. Not previewing, recapping Ashley. So, kind of like we've done in weeks past. Floor is yours. Talk to us about the Ashley game. What did you like? What did you not like? How was this game an improvement over the first 4 weeks, and how do you use it to get better Friday night for homecoming against North Brunswick?
Against Ashley, the two seniors that we named the Pirates of the Week this week that you guys just talked to, they were a huge part of our success this past week, and I can't say enough about them and what they did and what they contributed to that game. And it's not really about stats because, I think about those that have been following our team for the past couple of years. Like Josh McKay started at nose guard the last 2 years for us. And now here he is starting at outside backer, right? Matt Hayes has been a mainstay at running back for us. And we finally got him going this past week. And so, it's those little things like that in which it's showing the growth of how every week, the score might not be looking that way. It is improving, but every week we're showing growth. And so, we had growth on the offensive end with 260 yards, 14 first downs, which was more than what we had combined in our first 4 games. And then defensively, we were right there on a lot of plays, but we just had some little things that just continued to bite us. But obviously we've been talking a lot this season about moving the ball, playing complementary football, special teams. We went from 9 punts the week before whoever we played. Jacksonville, is that what we played 2 weeks ago? Yeah, Jacksonville, we had 9 punts to 2 punts against Ashley, right? And so to be able to have the ball, to move the ball, and I heard you guys talking about time of possession. I have no idea. That's one stat I don't keep, but just in order to have those first downs, and we talked to the guys a lot about football is a mental game. And as an O-lineman, as a former O-lineman, as an O-line coach, football is all about mentality. And so it's not just about possessing the ball and moving the ball. It's about breaking the will of the opponent. And so, we had some stretches on Friday night where we went Matt Hayes 13 yards, Matt Hayes 14 yards, Ben McCaleb 13 yards, Kyle Romanek 12 yards. First down. And it's like, and so if we can just put those together consistently, right, that starts to demoralize the opponent. And then they're like, oh my gosh, Okay, Matt Hayes, like number 20, I just tackled that guy. He's still kicking as I'm tackling him. All right, he's going out for water. Now number 25's in here. Wait, I thought he just went out. Wait, this is a different guy. Wait a second, now he's running me over. And then it's like, oh, number 82, who is this? Why is this guy wearing a tight end number? He's running me over. Okay, he's off the field. Now number 45's out here with his new cowboy collar. He's running me over. And then they're going to fake it to those guys, and then they're going to throw it down the field to big old number 80, right? And it's just like, those are the little things we've been talking about all season long that, it felt like we finally were putting them together. And so now we got the offensive things improving, right, and now working on the defensive things. And so one of these games, right, we're going to put it all together. And
Friday night sounds good.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But like, it feels like, and I'm not trying to make excuses, but it feels like we can't catch a break. Because against Jacksonville, we had 12 guys not in uniform. We had a 13th guy that couldn't finish the game due to injury. This past week, we had other guys that were still injured. We had 4 guys come to me. We got to 4th block, so we have our 4th block weightlifting class. And I had 4 guys come to me at the beginning of that 4th block weightlifting class. They said, Coach, I feel like crap. Can I go home? And I'm like, oh, this is great. And so I'm like, yes, go home. Bus leaves or whatever. Like, go make yourself feel better. And then by the time the 4th kid came and said the same thing to me, I went out and I stopped them because they were doing their pregame lifting. I stopped everybody else. I said, okay, show of hands. Who else feels like crap and is not telling me because you're scared I'm going to yell at you or something? And then like 5 more guys were like, And I'm like, all right, everyone, stop. Put the weights away. Spray them all down. Like, no, we're not doing this. Okay, and then we get to the game, and as you guys already talked about, with Landon and unfortunately with his injury, and so it's just like, but injuries happen, sicknesses happen, and we have to have a plan, and we have to deal with that adversity. And so I'm just so proud of the guys like Josh this past week who found out halfway through warm-ups, and I looked at him, I'm like, all right, Josh, we've been talking about this, and he's like, yep, Coach, I'm ready. I'm like, okay, I know you are. Let's go. 9 tackles later, right? A podcast interview later. I mean, and so I'm just so proud of these guys who are stepping up because, as I've told them from the beginning, there's 48 guys on the varsity, and it's going to take all 48 of you at some point because we're playing 9 straight games. It's a lot of football to play. Injuries happen. Sicknesses happen. The weather turns to 90 degrees for no reason whatsoever at the end of September, right? I mean, this is what happens in North Carolina.
Yeah, Coach, and I mentioned earlier that I'm not always on the sidelines for the games, but to me, the energy level on the sidelines was the best I'd seen all season. So even though you've got those injuries, you've got those illnesses, we're not off to the start that we had hoped. The boys are still 100% all in, and they are grinding, and they're encouraging each other, and they're giving their all. So props to you and the rest of your coaching staff to keep the boys engaged. You and I talked a little bit after the. Were you going to say something, Coach?
I was just going to say thank you, but I mean that's all on them. That's not us. I mean the guys are player leaders, our players. I mean, they had a meeting last week, and they came out of that meeting and they said, Coach, we're good to go. And I said, okay. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Let's go. And so, they were there. And also, if you're going to be on the sideline, they're going to have that much energy. You got to be on the sideline Friday night.
Chris, you may not be needed any longer.
He's busy. He's busy on Friday.
Although Sarah does have a video of me loading the trailer, and I'm like, that's it. That's why Chris is not allowed to miss any games. So I was going to send it to you, but I didn't want you to get mad at me. But so, Coach, you and I talked a little bit after the game on Friday. And, we've been talking a little bit about the offense and things of that nature. And, without kind of divulging everything that you told me, I'll let you do that if you choose to. Completely different offense, at least in my eyes, that we had run all season long. And I think that the results on the field offensively, not so much on the scoreboard this week, but statistically, best offensive game of the season by far. Is that something that you kind of had planned, and you don't have to answer that if you don't want to, but is that something you had planned for conference? Are we expecting to see more changes as conference continues to go without obviously divulging any kind of secrets? And then, like, how difficult was that to change your offense in the middle of the season?
It was kind of a combination of all of those things. It was kind of due, I mentioned, the sheer amount of injuries and sicknesses that we had just kind of left us short-handed. And so, Coach Carton and I, a couple weekends ago, we were kind of sitting there and we were kind of looking at, okay, who do we have healthy? What can they do? How do we get our best 11 on the field? And how do we capitalize on their skill sets? And so I told last week when you guys had Kyle Romanek here on the podcast, I said, Kyle, you are not allowed to talk about what we're doing offensively because I want it to be a surprise on Friday because, and he mentioned it to you, he was a fullback. He was an I formation, pro-style fullback for 3 years at his old school, and then he came down here and I took one look at him and I was like, well, we don't have a fullback. And if we had a fullback, it would be Landon, but we don't really have one, and so you're going to be a guard. And I made him a guard, and he was like, whatever, coach, whatever you need for the team. And then we went back to him, and I was like, okay, well, now we need a fullback, and we're going to put you a fullback. And so, that is the offense that, as an O-line coach for 10 years, that I always dreamed of having. Of a pro-style offense is something that I love. As I kind of mentioned and kind of alluded to, as an O-lineman and as an O-line coach, there is nothing better in this world that I enjoy in the game of football than moving another human being against his will from one point to another. And so, that is what happens with the offense that we have right now, and that's what we're kind of trying to instill. And so it was kind of a combination of all of those things, and really it was just kind of taking a look at where we were and just saying, all right, what do we have, who's healthy, and what can they do best, and how do we kind of plug them into our system with what we kind of have. And we were kind of moving that way anyways, and so like there are elements, as you can kind of see, it was almost two different offenses. There was kind of like the shotgunny kind of offense, utilizing the talents of Demarion and JoJo, and then there was the 21 personnel with two running backs and a tight end, kind of utilizing the talents of Kyle and then Matt and Ben and Jackson, those two things as a defensive coordinator, I know those are two completely different things to prepare for. And so, again, I'm just trying to make things more difficult for people to prepare for us and make us more multiple, and that's an easy way for us to do so.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, Coach. It was two different completely offenses out there, and I think that's the thought process of now every team moving forward, they don't really know what to expect. They can't go full focus on our the spread offense. They can't go full focus on what I was saying after the game, the 1990s NFL style Dallas Cowboys with Emmitt Smith and Darryl Johnston running the ball, those big offensive linemen pushing it. So it looked good, Coach, and I'm excited to see more.
That's why Landon's getting that cowboy collar. Got to throw it back to that. That's why.
Hey, before we move on, shout out to our O-line Friday night.
Yes, sir.
Where's Ben? I saw Ben earlier.
I thought I saw him.
Went to the bathroom. Of course he's in the bathroom when I give him a shout out. Ben and friends, O-line. There was plenty of running lanes Friday night. So
sure were. They did a great job.
More of that.
Yes.
All right, Coach. We are going to move on to your no quarter plays, right? So Coach has. I won't explain it. I'll let you explain it. But we've got some clips that we're going to talk about here that he's identified as his no quarter plays, and he'll talk to you about what that means. We're going to watch him, and he's going to talk about them. So let me get this media right here.
Yeah. So this is I try to pull out as I'm going through the games, and I share this with the boys. Mondays, we kind of do a film recap, offensively, defensively. We kind of, talk about some things that went well, talk about some things that we need to fix. and then we kind of do our installs. And Tuesdays is time to kind of highlight some of the plays, some extra effort plays that I pulled out of the game from the previous week. So to go with our program slogan of no quarter, I kind of named them no quarter plays. And so these are kind of extra effort plays that I identified from some of our players that I showed the guys on Tuesday during our meetings, and so I also shared with you to kind of watch here as part of the podcast.
So this first play is our touchdown. Number 82, Kyle Romanek, will get the handoff, and you can see what happens from there.
So a little bit about this play. I'll let it run first. Okay, so this play is my favorite play in football. And so it's known by many names. Some people call it belly G, some people call it G lead. In my offense that I learned from grades 7 through 12, and then I coached in for the first 6 years of my coaching career, we called this down in wing T. And this is my favorite play in football because for the first 12 years of my football life, this was the first play that we ran in every single game that I played in or coached. And so when Coach Carton came to me and was like, hey, I want to run this play, and I was like, no, speak no more, we are putting it in. And especially with Kyle running this. So you see it's down blocks from the tight end, the tackle, the front side guard pulls, we kick the outside linebacker, hand it off to the fullback on a tight angle. We call this play Bama, and Kyle Romanek finishes the run by dragging a poor Ashley Screaming Eagle into the end zone, and we didn't know what to do. We're like, what is this thing? End zone? What is this end zone thing? Look at this. Touchdown.
Horrible name for the play, but great play.
Well, tied is the other way, if you like that better.
That's horrible.
Matt, yeah, I know.
Yeah. So Coach, you got the next clip ready, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah, so kind of moving on to that next clip. This is the Cam Kohler hit that was called a penalty. I thought, personally, that this was almost the turning point in the game. This play, I believe it's second and like 25, something along those lines. They get a big play, but it's still third and long. It's still 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 if this penalty doesn't come in and give them the first down. I believe Ashley ended up going down and scoring, going up by 3 scorers at that point in time. But this play was a huge play in the game. Not only was the hit huge, but the play and the unfortunate flag that got thrown afterwards, I don't want to say cost us the game, but definitely changed the momentum.
Yeah, it did, but I mean, I have to say it was a penalty. But the reason why I included this in the clips here that I showed the guys is because we talk a lot about effort. We talk a lot about the things that we can control. And so the player in question here is Cam Kohler, who's number 3. He is going to be the furthest player away from the play. And so if you just watch him the entire play, he's on the 20 right now. And so the play is all the way across the field, and he is going to come through and clean up the tackle, which is a point of emphasis for us, in which we talk about if you're not going to be the first guy there, then you are going to clean the pile as somebody is holding him up. And he does. Unfortunately for him, the guy who's running the ball happens to lower his head at the same time as Cam arrives, and he does hit him with the shoulder pad, which is a penalty now. Of course, back when we played, it wasn't when we played football. But yes, you're right, Rich, because it would have been 3rd and 8 with 4:30 left in the third quarter. We're only down by 11. We stop them there. We force a punt there, and we get the ball back, and it might be a different game. But because they got that first down right there, they went down and scored. All of a sudden, it was 24-6. It really did change the game. Plus the momentum boost they got from the fact of it being a huge penalty and their sideline going crazy. But the reason why I wanted to highlight it was not because of the penalty or because I disagree with it, but because of the effort that Cam showed, another senior here, of running all the way across and beating so many of his teammates to get to that tackle and make that play.
What a hit.
He did lower the boom.
I thought it was clean live. I'm going to have to disagree with you, Coach. I still think it's clean. But
It looked worse than it was.
I could be wrong.
It looked worse than it was. I mean, anytime. I mean, obviously, it's player safety and helmets come off.
I get
and,
it.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you know. But, yes, it was a heck of a hit no matter what.
Yeah, one other thing that didn't exist when we were playing football when we were younger was concussions. So, not saying that they're not real. Aaron, if you're out there listening, concussions are real. But I have a tendency to agree with Matt. I thought he hit him low, and when he slid up, his shoulder pad caught him and knocked his helmet off, made it look worse than it was. But I'm not the head football coach, and you know more about you've forgotten more about football than I probably ever know. So
I don't know about that, but
All right, next play. This is a Jackson Reeves reception. I think it was like a 30-some yard, 40-some yard reception. I don't have it in front of me, but
if it was the long one, it was 46. Total,
46.
I think.
There you go. So from start to finish, everything from the quarterback, stepping up into the pocket, keeping his eyes downfield, finding his receiver, great catch by Jackson, and then gets several yards after contact. Now, I got to apologize. The video, I work with what I have here, but when he makes the catch, you can't see the catch because
He was running that fast.
Yeah, that's right. He faster than the camera can record, but
Correct.
But I promise you the catch was complete. So here we go.
And so this was 2nd and 10. We had just called a run play that went nowhere, and so Coach Carton decided to take a shot on a pass play, trying to make something happen at the end of the first half here. And Tyler does a great job of evading the rush, throwing it down. Jackson makes a great catch, gets us in a position, and we used our last timeout. We clocked it because I'd already used my last timeout. But I also want to mention there's another extra effort play that's part of this as well. If you watch our right tackle, number 78, sophomore Zach Kajovi, buries the Ashley rusher and then is so excited, jumps right up. So we get down there, we clock the ball, and then that gave us another play before the half, which unfortunately we weren't able to get out of bounds and attempt a field goal or score a touchdown. But still, that gave us a chance. All because of Jackson, Tyler, our O-line giving us a chance to get the ball down there.
Yeah, good play. Good play by all O-line, from the O-line to – Ben, you missed my shout-out earlier. You were in the bathroom, but I shouted out the O-line. I said Ben and friends, so much more of that this week. All right, our last clip. Coach, when he sent me these play clips, he called this the defensive swarm, and I hadn't seen it yet. I was like, oh, defensive swarm. And then I watched it, and I was like, yeah, that's probably what I would have called it too. So moving on here. Here it is.
So we talk a lot about as a defense, and as a defensive coordinator, I used to talk a lot about we want 11 hats to the ball. We want all 11 players. When we stop the clip, when the clip stops at the end of the play, we want to see all 11 white shirts in the clip, in the picture. And you do, because if you pause it at the end of this, you see that every single Topsail player is in this clip. And so what does that mean? Well, that means if we are running to the ball and we pop that ball out, well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Topsail shirts there. There's one Topsail shirt way back there. There's 2 Ashley shirts there. So if we get that ball out, we're going to recover that ball. And we're going to turn that thing over, and we're going to get it right there. And so that's all about effort. That's things we can control, and that's running to the ball. And that's what we talk about when we talk about playing football the Pirates football way. That's what we talk about no quarter. That's what we talk about with Pirates defense. And so that's something we really emphasize, and I was really proud of the boys and wanted to show them that that's exactly what we're supposed to be doing each and every play.
And that concludes our no quarter plays of the week. Can't wait to see what we can pull out of Friday night. All right, so moving on, that concludes our Ashley recap. Moving on to our North Brunswick preview. North Brunswick struggled through the first half of the season in terms of wins and losses, right, as well. So they currently sit at 1-4 on the season, which is kind of a surprise to me. But they have lost. They start off week one with a loss versus Corinth Holders. I don't know if I said that right. It's team out of Wendell, but 35-27 loss there. Then they get a win at South Brunswick, 39-21. And they're currently on a 3-game losing streak. Losses at West Carteret, which from up in Morehead City, 36-35. Lost to St. Paul's, 35-33. And most recently, last Friday night, loss versus New Hanover, 35-28. But they're 1-4, but you know those scores are close. They're right there in every game. So I didn't get They didn't post stats for the New Hanover game, the New Hanover and North game, but they do have stats for their first 4 games of the season. And you know from what I can take just by reading their statistics is they seem to be a pretty balanced attack offensively. They're led by their senior quarterback, Jonah Campbell. He's completing about 60% of his passes on the season, 740 yards through 4 games, 8 touchdowns to 1 interception. He's a dual threat guy. He's got about 200 yards rushing as well through 4 games. So he can get it done on the ground too. Kane Jenrette, I don't know if I said that right, but he's their leading rusher. He's averaging over 150 yards per game. I usually like to get up here, and whether you like to hear it or not, but I like to try to come up with some keys to the game. And really this week, my key to the game this week is do your job. Players, offensively, like we talk about every week, stay on the field. Put together some long drives early. Make the best of your opportunities by doing your job. Be disciplined. Avoid dumb mistakes and dumb penalties. Be fundamentally sound, right? Blocking, assignments, all that good stuff. Defensively, own your role, your one-on-one matchups. Win your one-on-one matchups. Kind of focus and think individually on your job and your matchup for collective success, right? So everybody, I think that's do your job. I think if everybody does that, then the collective product will be good, right? Pressure. Rich, your comments on the game, and then we'll pass it over to Coach.
Yeah, I agree with what you said, Matt. Do your job. I think and I could have the game wrong, but I'm going to throw this game out there anyways just because I know Coach Schmidt is a Buffalo Bills fan. But I think that there's a video of a young Bill Belichick, defensive coordinator for the New York Football Giants, or for my old boss, the Jersey Giants, because that's where they play. And he's on the sidelines telling his players, do your job. I believe that was in the Super Bowl against the Buffalo Bills. I could be wrong, but I just want to at least make it seem like I'm right, just to get Coach's blood boiling a little bit. But you're absolutely right. If every player goes out there and does what it is that they have to do, it really doesn't matter what the opposing team does to prepare for you, because we're preparing for what it is that they're going to do. So do your job, and everything else will fall in place. We continue to run the ball right down the middle if that's what we decide to do. It doesn't matter. As long as our offensive linemen continue to do what it is that they did and continue to do their job, we're going to get 4 or 5 yards a pop. So I couldn't have said it better than what you said, Matt. Coach?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Do your job. We've talked, our theme of the week this week is, I've borrowed from Ted Lasso, those of you that might have watched that TV show, of believe. Okay, believe. I put the sign up, I put the yellow sign up on the locker room and on the whiteboard because, it's easy to look at the record. It's easy to think about what's in the past. It's easy to think about that. But as I have told the guys, and I told them from the beginning on Monday, there is no better shot than this week, right? It's homecoming. We are on our field. So believe in one another. Believe in us. Believe that we will do it. Believe that on Friday night we will shake hands with North Brunswick and believe that things will go our way. Because it's so easy when you're in a losing streak. It's so easy when things aren't going your way to when that first thing doesn't go your way, that you start thinking about all the other things that haven't gone your way. But you have to just keep believing in the process, the work, the things that you have done. You can't think about the outcome. And so, we've been talking a lot about do your job. We've been talking a lot about believe in us, right? Believe in what we've done. And, we're finally starting to get guys back from injury. We're finally starting to get guys back from sicknesses. We're finally, we haven't had our full team together, all healthy, all not sick since Dixon. Like, we have not had everyone eligible, ready to go since Dixon. But, I'm just really excited for this week with it being homecoming. There's a lot of things going on with homecoming on Friday night. We have the pep rally during the day on Friday. Student government's hosting a pep rally, or a tailgate in the gravel lot, before the game. And all the things that go with homecoming, and the kids are excited, and the dance on Saturday night. So it would really, really, really be a great week to win and believe.
Got me believing,
we can
Coach.
do it.
Got me believing.
Good. I'm glad. So that's what we're doing. That's what our message is for this week. I mean, I could care less who we are playing. I mean, that's just the fact of the matter is we're finally home. Like, I feel like we haven't played a home game. Maybe because I don't remember most of the last home game that we played. I do remember there were times of Rich and Chris Hafer, and like there was a chair involved, and I don't know. There was a lot of times when I couldn't really stand much, but I'm really excited to actually coach a home game, and hopefully remember most of it. But believe. I mean, believe in the Topsail Pirates. Believe in all the work we've put in, and believe in one another. And no matter what happens, no matter what way the light bulbs go this Friday night, I just really love where we are right now as a team, the way that we're all working together in practices, the way that we're pushing one another in a brotherly way. Again, you don't always like one another, but you always love one another, and you always respect one another, and you're always working for one another, and you're always got one another's back. And so, I'm just believing that this is going to be our week, and that we're going to finally turn that corner.
Tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, JV away in Leland at North Brunswick. Friday night at home for homecoming, 7 o'clock kickoff. Show up and let's believe together. Head coach Coach Schmidt, thank you. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, before we get out of here, we're just going to walk through and do a quick conference update from last week. Keep you up to date with what's going on around the conference. 6 of the 7 Carolina Coast Conference teams were in action during Week 5. Hoggard was on a bye week. The two games outside of our games were Laney at West Brunswick. West Brunswick gets the win, 21-16. And then New Hanover at North Brunswick, right? North Brunswick, our opponent this week. New Hanover, like we talked about, got the win, 35-28. Conference standings. After 1 week of conference play, we've got a 3-way tie for first place, given that we've only played 1 game. Ashley is 1-0 in the conference, 2-3 on the season. West Brunswick is 1-0, 4-1 on the season. New Hanover is 1-0, 2-3 on the season. Then we've got a 3-way tie for 4th place. Laney is 0-1 in conference, 2-3 on the season. Topsail, we know our record. And then North Brunswick is 0-1 in conference, 1-4 on the season. And then down there at the bottom dwellers, Hoggard in last place in the conference at 0-0. Yeah, I like that.
Yes, absolutely.
4-0 on the season. You didn't hear that, but last place Hoggard. That's, what a year.
Hey Matt, you gotta do that next week if we have the same conversation. You gotta do it like when you're announcing at the home games. Topsail 7, the visiting team, and just quietly mumble it.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. All right. Well, that wraps up week 6 of Anchor Down.
Before you go, if anybody wants to tailgate before the game, I'm gonna be
All right, so Mr. Reeves wants to announce that if anybody wants to tailgate before the game Friday, he's going to be in the parking lot at 5 o'clock. So let's show up and set up. And you cooking too, right? Oh, he's cooking too. All right, I was joking, but I like it.
Mr. Reeves, which parking lot? The main parking lot, or are you going to be in the gravel lot? Main parking lot. Excellent.
All right, let's tailgate Friday. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that since Chris was not there last Friday to help set up or tear down, he can handle it his own this week, and you and I can go and tailgate. What do you think, Matt?
Sounds good. Sounds like a plan.
And Chris gave the thumbs up.
Yep,
So
there it is.
I like
there it is. All right, talking about setting up, we do need volunteers. Always, FTF needs volunteers. This is a production of FTF, and I forgot to do this in the beginning. We are sponsored by Oval and Ale, right? Oval and Ale, this lovely facility establishment that we are at. We appreciate Oval and Ale, everything they do for the program and the high school in general. Jamie, his staff, family, everybody involved. A-plus organization. So we appreciate Oval and Ale. Round of applause, please, for them, for letting us use their space here. So we know the game times this week. For those of you watching us, and really everybody here too, we got some social media accounts. FTF does. We've got our YouTube page that some of you are watching on live now, or we'll go back and watch later. We've got an Instagram. We've got a Facebook. Lots of information that we put out on Facebook, and there's actually a Twitter out there too. So check it all out. Like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Thanks everybody for coming out tonight. Thanks for joining us. For those of you that are live, Rich, I'll give you the last word, and we'll head to the house.
Yeah, so I appreciate it, Matt. Again, I want to thank everybody as well for coming out. Thanks, Oval and Ale. Hey, for all those boys out there getting ready to play on Thursday and Friday night. I know Coach said the Ted Lasso Believe. I like another one from that as well. It's Be Goldfish. You know, those past 5 weeks, those rounds are downrange. There's nothing you can say or do about them, so forget about it. Believe in what you guys are doing this week. Believe in what you guys are building for the future, and get out there and get after North Brunswick. One last thing. Go Pirates.
Go Pirates.